This is the story with Rabbi Yisrael Aryeh Leib. Rabbi Yisrael Aryeh Leib was the Rebbe's younger brother, who died in his 40s, very young. And was a child prodigy as a child. And he was particularly endeared as a young man, by the Frierdiker Rebbe, by the previous Rebbe. And there's many stories that the elder Chassidim used to like. When he was even a young child, he taught already Tanya. As a child, he taught Tanya in Yekathinis love to the adults of the town where his father was the Rav. It gives you an idea of his genius. And the elder Chassidim used to like to talk to him in Chassidus. He was a very brilliant and very deep thinker. He passed away in Liverpool in 1952, at which time he had been pursuing a doctorate in mathematical theory. He wrote manuscripts which the Rebbe subsequently got published many years later. So here's the story with Rabbi Yisrael Aryeh Leib, or Leibel as he was affectionately known by the elder Chassidim when he was a young man. He lived in Eretz Yisrael. He lived in Tel Aviv, where he married, and then he moved to Liverpool, and there he passed away at a very young age. So this is the story back in Leningrad with the, or it doesn't say where it was, but I'm assuming it was there, with the Frierdiker Rebbe. So once the Frierdiker Rebbe said a very deep Maamor. The Maamor would say every Shabbos, a very deep Maamor. And everybody was all the Chassidim were in a great bispilus, very moved, and it caused a lot of discussion, etc., this deep Maamor. But Leibel, unlike everybody else, was not nispal. He wasn't responding with wow and so on of this Maamor. On another occasion, the Frierdiker Rebbe said what appeared to everybody to be a simple Maamor. A Maamor for Balabatim, that even a simple a person, not such a towering intellect and not so versed in Chassidus, could also understand the simple Maamor. And a label, an expression is as a reis from the Kalim, went completely out of his limits, with extreme bispilus, moved and shaken up by this Maamor that was a simple Maamor. And he said, Azam Maamor, such a Maamor. We have to say, L'chaim, take a little mashke. So the Maamor was on Shabbos. So they thought by Tzoi Shabbos, the Chassidim sat down to Fabreng with Leibel, and they thought that he will explain to them what is the greatness, that he saw in this Maamor that nobody saw. It seemed simple ideas. What happened was he sat and he said L'chaim, and each time he said L'chaim, he was even more quiet, and he wept. And so the whole night went, Azam Maamor, such a Maamor, the whole night he sat, didn't say a word, just cried to himself. And at the end of the night he said one sentence: what is worth all the haskalah, all of the intellectual understanding of a Maamor, if there's no das? And das, by that he meant one doesn't connect personally and internalize and become personally affected and transformed by the Maamor. That was the only thing he said at the end of the whole night.